You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. Black people knew Ronald Reagan was chicken shit. We knew Ronald Reagan was a damn racist. But now, all of a sudden, an audio recording has been released of a phone conversation between Ronald Reagan, he was the governor of California, and Richard Nixon when he was president. Y'all remember, Richard Nixon taped everything. And Lord, praise the Lord for his taping, because we have had some insights into the bigotry and racism at the highest level in America. Now, the tapes, folks, were private because he resigned. So what happened was they were moved to the Nixon Presidential Library. Now, when the National Archives originally released the tapes of the conversation in 2000, let's be real clear, they punk asses redacted. No, I'm saying that's right. They redacted the racist part to protect Reagan's privacy. So why weren't these tapes released when he was running? Listen to what happened.
Last night, I tell you, to watch that thing on television, that did. Yeah. To see those monkeys from those African countries, and they're still uncomfortable wearing shoes.
Well, and then the tail wags the dog there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The tail wags the dog.
Okay, it was 1971, and they were talking about something that took place between African diplomats at the United Nations. Reagan refers to these African diplomats as monkeys and says they haven't even got used to wearing shoes. One of the Reagan biographers, Monique, comes out and says, in all of his research, he had never uncovered anything of Ronald Reagan being racist. He launched his campaign in Philadelphia, Mississippi, which is only known for one thing in American history: the murder of 3 civil rights workers, Cheney, Schwerner, and Goodman. I mean, we don't know about Philadelphia, Mississippi for nothing else. That's one. Who was the originator of the welfare queen? Ronald Reagan. That's right. Who was the man who absolutely opposed MLK's birthday as a federal holiday? Ronald Reagan. Who was the man who said, no way in hell will I sign a bill putting sanctions on the leadership in South Africa, the white racist leadership in South Africa? Ronald Reagan. Black folks, we always knew. Now white folks are like, oh my God, Reagan called them monkeys. Not our Ronnie.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
What do you have to say about Ronnie?
Oh, I'm sorry. I left out one. Y'all do also remember when the Black Panthers came to Sacramento, the state capital, with the long rifles? They immediately banned that shit. When black folks roll up with long rifles, they like, oh, we got to change this damn law.
And
we ain't having that.
It was legal.
It was legal.
It was legal for them to be there with the
Huey P.
rifles.
Newton studied the law says if we carry long rifles and point them in the air, it's legal. So they went to the state capitol with them guns. When them white folks saw Negroes with long rifles, they said, oh, hell no, we got to change that law. Ronald Reagan signed into law.
Yes, so the thing is, the GOP is indeed still the party of Reagan, just like they've been saying they were, and we were trying to disagree with them, but of course it's accurate. Yep. And I was in second grade. I think it was Carter versus Reagan. I was representing Carter in the debate. I brought peanuts, and my opponent brought jelly beans. The jelly beans won. Reagan was that kind that kept it, you know, the slip wasn't showing, and he was a consummate entertainer and a consummate politician before, you know, his frontal lobe started disappearing on him. And so contrasting to Trump, of course, Trump just puts his out there. So it's easy for people to look back now, not just at Reagan, but at so many of our leaders during that time who we all know by their policies and actions were indeed racist. But because they didn't wear their racism on Front Street and would still give you a hello and how do you do, that means they're not racist.
And Scott, that's what's hilarious to me. People are like, oh my God, we didn't know. Okay, because after Jim Crow, it was keep that stuff private.
Yeah, you know, the other thing that white Democrats and Republicans did in the 60s and 70s, and even now, right? They let George Wallace be the racist boogeyman, that he would say segregation now, segregation in the past, segregation forever. Now, they sympathized with him and empathized with him, but they let him be the boogeyman, if you will. Yeah. But their racist blood and bones and their policies, but what they said behind closed doors, I wish we had iPhones then or Androids then in the 60s and 70s, because I think we would be, white America would be far more sensitive to
I mean, but it's
sooner than later.
But Cleo, again, at the end of the day, it's like, look, and this is the problem. When people go, to Trump tweeted, there's not a racist bone in my body. Your own lawyer, Michael Cohen, has revealed what you talked about. We know the deal. And the problem is, and I'm going to play a video in a second of a conversation that happened today on Fox, where a white woman was calling Trump a racist, and a black woman, Harris Faulkner, was like, you shouldn't use those words. Cleo, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, as I've talked about before on this show, no matter how racist some white people are, except for Trump, to some extent Trump as well, people don't like to be publicly shamed. People like to be publicly put on Front Street for what they really are, because how people are perform in public is important. If they're two-faced, and what's his Native Americans who said something about a forked tongue? So two-facedness is a part of the culture. None of us are, well, I'm not surprised at all that Reagan is a racist, but what bothers me is that the society is such, and this is something that Trump ironically complained about, is so PC. And even, what's his name, the Attorney General under Obama? Eric Holder.
Eric Holder.
Eric Holder, remember what happened to him?
We call it a nation of cowards. And guess what?
Exactly.
It was Rahm Emanuel who said, put him on ice.
Exactly.
And let me be real clear with y'all. See, this is why y'all don't really want me to write the black book on the Obama administration. What really happened, what had happened was, that speech was given in February of 2009. And what then happened was they put Holder on ice.
That's right.
They would not allow him to do a national television appearance more than a year. How do I know that? Because when I saw Eric Holder in 2009 in the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation dinner, he said, man, I would love to have your show be my first Sunday appearance. He was AG in February. And after that, David Axelrod went at Eric Holder, and that was almost a fight. Axelrod almost got his ass whooped in the Oval Office for going after Holder, and they had to hold Holder back, and Valadez had to go calm him down. Just want to let y'all know that.
Now, wasn't this
and so then when was his first appearance? When the guy in the New York Times, in Times Square, got busted with the bomb. That's when Holder was allowed to go on national television, because Rahm Emanuel, the chief of staff to Obama, was so angry that he said America was a nation of cowards.
And this occurred under the Democratic Party rubric. Am I correct?
Yeah, just so folks know. History.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of just raising and synthesizing the fact that when people talk about racism in this country and put it on Front Street and real, as Holder did, people lose their minds and they can get in a lot of trouble, even if they're black.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, you've heard me talk a lot about marijuanastop.org. Why? Because I want to keep you informed of investment opportunities that make sense. We have all watched the growth of the cannabis industry. A recent report by the New Frontier data estimates the global cannabis market at over $340 billion. We know that marijuana legalization is sweeping the country state by state. We also know that marijuana has a good cousin, the hemp plant, with a much higher concentration of CBD. That means hemp gives you all the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the U.S. and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill changed all of that and now making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S., creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. Folks, they need land to grow in all the plants, And this is not rocket science. It's pretty simple. It's just it's an incredible investment opportunity, and that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in. Their business model is simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants, and they're black-owned. That's right. They are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. Go to, and of course, the folks at 420 Real Estate have done something special for our Roland Martin Unfiltered fans. Originally, it was $500, the minimum investment, but they've lowered that to $200 only for the folks who watch this show. So you can participate by losing $200 up to $10,000. Again, a $340 billion global industry that is still growing. And you can participate with as little as $200. To invest, go to marijuanastock.org, marijuanastock.org. You can get in the game and get in the game now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.